I never thought I'd end up headbutting a multi-million-dollar Tesla with my goddamn wheelchair. But there I was, sweat pouring down my back under the brutal Florida sun, ramming the front grille like it was the last boss in some twisted video game. The alarm blared like a banshee. And Karen, oh, sweet, entitled Karen, burst out of her McMansion door in yoga pants that looked painted on, her face turning the color of overripe tomatoes as she screamed obscenities that would make a sailor blush. In that split second, as her diamond-studded flip-flops slapped the pavement, I realized this wasn't just about a blocked ramp anymore. It was war, and I was done playing nice. You see, 3 months earlier, I'd moved into this cookie-cutter gated community in Orlando, Emerald Palms Estates. They called it a slice of suburban heaven for tech bros and empty nesters who worshipped at the altar of perfectly mowed lawns and zero tolerance for anything that disrupted the vibe. I was 28, fresh off a spinal cord injury from a freak climbing accident in the Rockies, and suddenly confined to a chair that cost more than my first car. My parents had scraped together the down payment on a modest 2-bedroom ranch-style house, the kind with wide doorways and no stairs. Because ADA-compliant living wasn't a luxury, it was survival. But Karen Whitaker, 52, CEO of Whitaker Wellness Supplements, those overpriced protein shakes that promise eternal youth but deliver nothing but chalky regret. She was the HOA president, and she saw my very existence as a personal affront to her empire of enforced conformity. It started innocently enough, or as innocent as HOA meetings get. I'd rolled into the clubhouse that first Wednesday night, the scent of stale coffee and passive aggression thick in the air. About 30 residents milled around folding chairs, clutching agendas like shields. Karen held court at the front, her bleached bobdo framing a face that screamed, "I've got a Peloton in my garage and a husband who golfs on weekends." She was built like a retired linebacker, proudly plus-sized, but in that way where she weaponized it, daring anyone to comment while simultaneously eviscerating others for their lifestyle choices. Her voice boomed through the room, all Valley Girl inflection laced with corporate venom. "Folks, we're not a commune for special snowflakes. This community thrives on uniformity. No flags, no fences over 4 feet, and absolutely no modifications that alter the aesthetic." I raised my hand, waved it from my chair, and asked about installing a wheelchair ramp on my front porch. The house was a foreclosure flip, prepped for accessibility, but the HOA bylaws required approval for exterior alterations. Karen's eyes narrowed like I'd suggested sacrificing goats on the common green. "Mr. Harlan," she drawled, my last name dripping from her lips like expired milk. "We appreciate your situation, but a ramp? That concrete monstrosity would clash with the colonial charm. Think of the property values. We're talking a 15% dip if we let one in." Then pandemonium. The room tittered, nervous laughs from the snowbirds who'd rather choke on their early bird specials than rock the boat. I bit back the urge to point out that ADA stood for Americans with Disabilities Act, not Ask Dictator Asshole, and instead cited the law, Federal Protection Against Discrimination in Housing, right there in black and white. Karen waved it off like a gnat. "Local rules supersede. Sweetie, we've got precedents. Precedents my ass." She meant her word was gospel because she'd bankrolled the community's rec center with her supplement empire's petty cash. By the end of the meeting, I'd been voted down 28-2, with the 2 holdouts being a retired nurse named Gladys who whispered "bless your heart" and a libertarian coder who muttered about government overreach. I left fuming, my chair's tires squeaking on the polished tile like a protest. That night, I pored over Florida statutes on my laptop, the blue glow illuminating my sparse living room. Karen wasn't just wrong, she was criminally negligent. Blocking access wasn't a suggestion, It was a violation that could land her in hot water with the DOJ, fines up to $75,000 per incident. And yeah, in extreme cases, jail time for willful discrimination. But revenge? That simmered later. First came the passive-aggressive hell. The next morning, I found my driveway spray painted within no ramp zone in neon letters. Anonymous, of course, but everyone knew Karen's flair for drama. She drove by twice a day in that gleaming white Tesla, honking if I dared linger outside. My PT sessions? Forget it. I had to call ride shares to the clinic 3 miles away. Each trip a $40 gut punch to my freelance graphic design gigs. Friends stopped visiting. The front steps might as well have been the Berlin Wall. I documented everything. Photos of the graffiti, emails to the board, all Karen yes men. Even recordings of her friendly drive-bys where she'd yell, "Keep it moving, Speedy," from her cracked window. Social media became my confessional. I posted on the Emerald Palms Facebook group, a digital coliseum where Karens ruled and the rest of us threw shade from the shadows. Hey neighbors, quick question. Is it cool to deny a disabled vet access to his own home? Asking for a friend. The likes trickled in, but comments? Crickets. Except for Karen's pinned response. Misinformation spreads faster than flu season. Let's keep discourse civil. Shall we? HOA harmony. Civil? I was seething. My accident had left me not just paralyzed from the waist down, but paranoid. Replaying every what-if from that faulty carabiner. And now, this blowhard was turning my fresh start into a farce. I lawyered up on contingency. Met a shark named Maria from Legal Aid. A firecracker Latina who lived for ADA cases. This is gold. Jake, she said over Zoom. Her office a chaos of case files and coffee mugs. Willful violation. Plus the vandalism? We sue the HOA. Name Karen personally. Discovery will bury her. But lawsuits take time. And I needed action now. That's when the headbutting happened. It was a Saturday, peak barbecue season. The air thick with charcoal and Karen's hypocrisy. She'd hosted a community wellness fair on the clubhouse lawn. Ironic. Given her company's snake oil vibes, complete with smoothie samples and yoga demos. Over. Not to partake, but to confront. As I approached the parking lot, her Tesla screeched in, blocking the only accessible path to the grass. No warning triangle. No hazard lights. Just Karen's bumper kissing the curb like she owned the damn world. I froze. Heart pounding. The ramp to the event was on the far side. But this blockade meant I'd have to detour through a mulch bed, risking a tip over. Voices from the fair floated over. Laughter. Clinking glasses. My hands clenched the push rims. Fuck it. I backed up, floored the joystick, and plowed straight into her grill. The impact jarred my spine. But the crunch of plastic, music. The Tesla's alarm wailed, drawing a crowd like sharks to chum. Karen exploded from the driver's seat, her supplement-fueled bulk quivering with rage. You lunatic. That's a $90,000 vehicle. I'll have you evicted. Spit flew as she loomed over me. Phone already out. Dialing 911. I stayed calm. Pulling out my own phone to Livestream. Folks, meet Karen Whitaker, HOA tyrant and apparent felon. Blocking disabled access? That's an ADA hate crime. Lady, smile for the gram. The video went viral in hours. Hashtags like Karen versus wheelchair and ADA blockade trended locally, then nationally. TikTokers stitched in their own HOA horrors. A comedian from SNL even mocked it in a skit. But Karen? She doubled down. By evening, the HOA board issued a statement, drafted by her, naturally condemning violent acts against property and threatening my lease. She posted selfies from the body shop, captioning, "When entitlement meets insanity. Pray for us all." Folded hands blessed. Entitlement? The backlash was biblical. Gladys the nurse started a petition. Accessibility for all. oust Karen. It hit 150 signatures overnight. The local news van rolled up at dawn. Microphone in my face. Jake, is this vigilantism or justice? I shrugged, camera ready in my faded Seminoles tee. It's survival. She wants to play gatekeeper? I'll show her the real barriers. As the days blurred into a frenzy, Maria filed the suit. Counts: discrimination, retaliation, emotional distress. We subpoenaed Karen's emails, her board minutes, everything. What we found: a goldmine of bile. Threads where she ranted about coddling cripples and plotted the graffiti as a gentle reminder. One gem: her texting the board treasurer. Harlan's a freeloader. Divorced. No kids, probably faking it for sympathy. Deny and deter. The deposition was poetry. Karen arrived in a power suit 2 sizes too small, sweating under the fluorescence. Her lawyer, a weaselly guy named Todd who looked like he'd gotten his JD from a cereal box. Maria circled like a barracuda. MS. Whitaker, you're aware that under 42 U.S.C. Section 3604, refusing reasonable accommodations is illegal. Karen blustered. It's our community standards, property values. Maria slid over the emails. Karen's face drained of color. Those are private brainstorming. Private? The leak happened that night, anonymous. But I have my suspicions about Gladys's tech-savvy grandson. By morning, Whitaker Wellness stock dipped 8%. Sponsors pulling ads amid boycott calls. Protesters picketed her office. Karen supplements, bitter pills for the disabled. Her husband, that golfing ghost, filed for separation. Rumor had it he'd finally tired of her rants over Merlot. I thought it'd end there. A clean win. But Karens don't fade quietly. She countersued me for the Tesla damage, $12K. Claiming assault. The hearing was a circus, her weeping on the stand about PTSD from the attack, me countering with dashcam footage showing her deliberate block. The judge, a no-nonsense black woman named Rivera, wasn't buying. Mom, you violated federal law. Dismissing your claim, plaintiffs awarded triple damages on the ADA suit. Karen's scream echoed through the courthouse. $225,000 payout to me, plus her ouster from the board. But the real kicker? The DOJ investigation. Turns out, she'd pulled this crap before, denying solar panels for aesthetic reasons, finding a gay couple for rainbow flags. Willful pattern? Check. Arrest warrant dropped 2 weeks later. Misdemeanor discrimination. Facing up to a year in county. I watched for my new ramp, installed gratis by the interim board, as they cuffed her on live TV, right in her driveway. She thrashed, yelling about conspiracies, her muumuu hiking up to reveal varicose veins and defeat. This is America. I built this place. The cop, a burly guy with a mustache, just sighed. Mom, that's exactly why. As they loaded her into the cruiser, our eyes met. No triumph. Just pity. She'd lost the job. The house foreclosure loomed. The facade. Last I heard, she was hawking knockoff vitamins on Etsy from a trailer in Ocala. Reviews calling her bitter as her shakes. Me? I rolled on. Gigs pouring in from sympathetic clients. A date with a barista who loved bad puns. Revenge isn't sweet. It's just the ramp you build when they try to keep you grounded. The fallout from Karen's arrest rippled through Emerald Palms like a bad batch of her protein powder. Everyone got a taste. And nobody liked the afterburn. I'd won the battle. Sure. But victory in suburbia feels less like fireworks and more like finally unclogging a drain. Relief. But with a lingering whiff of rot. My lawsuit payout covered the ramp. A beefed-up chair with all-terrain tires. And a down payment on a lifted van that made me feel like Mad Max in khakis. But sleep? That evaded me. Nightmares of her bloated face pressing against my window. Whispering you'll pay. Speedy jolted me awake more than once. my heart racing like I'd chugged her caffeine bombs. The community transformed overnight. Gladys, bless her, ascended to HOA Prez with a platform of kindness first. She tore out the razor wire vibes Karen had installed around the pool. No skinny dipping after 10 p.m. My ass, and replaced them with accessible grills and braille signs on the clubhouse doors. The Facebook group, once a ghost town of complaint forwards, buzzed with real talk, potlucks for new moms, carpool threads for the elementary school run. Even the snowbirds thawed, inviting me to mahjong nights where I'd lose spectacularly but win at trash-talking their bridge hands. Yet, under the surface, resentment festered. Not at me. Oh no, I was the hometown hero now, with locals slipping me extra ribs at block parties and kids high-fiving my chair like it was a lowrider. No, the knives were out for Karen's remnants. Her old cronies on the board slunk away like roaches at dawn. The treasurer, a balding accountant named Phil, sold his place and fled to the villages, muttering about woke overreach. The secretary, a peroxide named Bambi, yes, really, tried a smear campaign, anonymous flyers claiming I'd bribed the judge with disability welfare. Maria shut that down with a cease and desist faster than you can say libel. But Karen herself? She didn't vanish. Oh, hell no. From her bail hearing, out on $10,000. Courtesy of a GoFundMe from MAGA aunties who decried persecution of a strong woman, she launched a podcast. Karen's Corner, unfiltered truth, streamed from her kitchen island. Backdrop of wilting ficus and half-empty wine bottles. First episode, The Wheelchair Warrior Who Wrecked My Life. I tuned in, morbid curiosity overriding sense, as she sobbed into a $200 mic. Jake Harlan isn't disabled. He's destructive. That accident, staged for clicks. And don't get me started on the ADA. It's a scam for lazy millennials. Views spiked. Schadenfreude is a hell of a drug. And suddenly, I had my own spotlight. Reporters camped my driveway. Not for quotes, but B-roll of the ramp that symbolized her downfall. CNN did a segment, From HOA Hell to Hero, One Man Stand Against Entitlement. I played it cool, cracking jokes about how my chair now had better mileage than her Tesla. But inside, it gnawed. Was I the villain in her narrative? The guy who toppled a queen, only to inherit her crown of thorns? Maria warned me. She's building a case for appeal. Don't engage. But engagement's my jam. Graphic designs, all about visuals that punch. So I struck back. Not with lawyers, but memes. My Instagram, at Wheelie Deals, exploded. Photoshopped Karen as Jabba the Hutt. Chained her supplements. Her Tesla as a clown car spewing HOA fines. Captions like, when your vibe check bounces, Karen Karma. It went nuclear. Ellen retweeted one. And suddenly I had brand deals for adaptive gear. My inbox a war zone of opportunity. The real twist came at the sentencing. County court. Humid as a sauna. Packed with gawkers snapping pics like it was Coachella. Karen waddled in. Deflated. Her once power suit, now a muumuu from Walmart. Stains blooming under the arms. She pleaded no contest, smart. For once, begging for probation. Your Honor, I've lost everything. My career, my marriage, it's punishment enough. Rivera leaned forward, glasses perched like a gavel. MS. Whitaker, you didn't lose, you forfeited. Denying access isn't a faux pas. It's a felony against dignity. 6 months. Community service at a disability center. And restitution. Full ADA training for every HOA in Orange County. The gavel cracked like thunder. And Karen crumpled, wailing as deputies let her out. I slipped away before the hugs, wheeling to my van under a sky bruised purple. Victory tasted like ash. That night, over takeout, Lo Mein with my buddy Raj, my climbing partner pre-accident. Now my UberX lifeline, I confessed. Man, I wanted her gone. But this? It's like I poisoned the well. But I? Ever the philosopher in his Uber Eats polo. Shrugged. Nah, bro. You drained it. She's the one who shit in it first. We clinked solo cups of root beer, laughing at old pics from Moab. But his words stuck. Maybe revenge wasn't about her chains. It was about my freedom. Word of Karen's pod fail spread. Sponsors bailed when old emails resurfaced. Her brainstorming, now public domain. She pivoted to OnlyFans Lite. Real talk with real Karen. Rants for $4.99 a month. Subscribers? Crickets. Last episode, one caught. She was hawking MLM jewelry. Voice cracking. They took my community, but not my spirit. Spirit? More like spite. Curdled into something toxic. Meanwhile, emerald palms bloomed. I volunteered for the new board, pushing for solar incentives and pride flags at the gate. Dates turned serious. A graphic novelist named Lena, with tattoos of circuit boards and a laugh that echoed. We bonded over bad HOAs. Hers had banned composting. Sex was adaptive, but damn if it wasn't fireworks. Life, post-Karen, felt like leveling up, gigs with Nike's accessibility line, a TEDx invite brewing. But scars linger. A new neighbor moved in, a single mom with a kid in braces. And when her van blocked my path one rush morning, my pulse spiked, joystick twitching. I breathed. Wave it off. No biggie. Progress. Karen's service stint? Priceless. Photos leaked of her folding laundry at a rehab center. Face twisted in 4 smiles as she chatted with folks she'd deem lesser. One viral snap. Her pushing a chair-bound vet. His grin pure schadenfreude. Caption: Poetic justice. Serve with a side of humble pie. By fall, the DOJ wrapped $50,000 fine to a disability fund. Her name etched in infamy on a national watch list. She vanished from Ocala feeds, rumored in a Phoenix suburb, starting fresh with a cousin's couch. Bitter? Yeah, for her. For me, it was the ramp to real living, no blocks. Just open road. Winter hit Orlando like a mild scolding, 60s and sunny, but with that crisp edge that makes you crave pumpkin spice everything. My life post-sensing was a montage of wins. Lena and I shacked up in my ranch. Her studio cluttering the garage with sketch pads and half-eaten burritos. At Wheelie Deals hit 50K followers, landing me a column in Wired on digital revenge in the age of Karens. Even the climbing gym adapted, adaptive wall with pulley assists, and there I was, harnessed up, Raj spotting as I inched up holds. Gravity be damned. But peace? That's a luxury Karen's like her never grant. Her appeal hit the docket in January. A Hail Mary filed pro SE because Todd the lawyer ghosted after her assets tanked. Maria called me in. She's subpoenaing you. Jake wants to grill you on the assault. Assault? That bumper kiss was self-defense. But courts love drama. I prepped with flashcards, ADA, clauses like scripture, while Lena mocked up protest signs. Free the ramp. Jail the Karen. The hearing was virtual. A glitchy Zoom circus from Judge Rivera's chambers. Karen appeared from a dingy motel backdrop. Hair in nest. Eyes bloodshot. Your Honor. Harlan's testimony was coerced. He rallied a mob. It's cancel culture on steroids. Rivera muted her. Turning to me. Mr. Harlan, did you incite violence? I leaned in. Steady. No, ma'am. I incited justice. She blocked access. I documented it. That's not a mob. It's due process. Her cross? A train wreck. Isn't it true you fake your injury for pity points? The chat exploded. Emojis from observers. My lawyer objecting like fireworks. I countered cool. Check the VA records. Karen, or better, ask the paramedics who scraped me off that ravine. She sputtered, pixels freezing on her scowl, and Rivera denied the appeal. Frivolous. Add contempt. 30 days extra. Karen's meltdown went live, screaming fascists before her feed cut. Clips trended. Karen court fail. Remixed with sad trombone SFX. Her GoFundMe? Hacked. Funds rerouted to my chosen charity, Wheels for Warriors. Poetic. With her chained. Literally. Orange jumpsuit pics leaked from intake. I exhaled. But closure? Nah. Spring brought the real gut punch. Whitaker Wellness imploded. Turns out, her brainstorming emails weren't just salty. They hinted at insider trading, dumping stock pre-scandal. SEC sniffed. And boom, fraud charges. Her empire? Auction off. Employees scattered like confetti. I attended the liquidation sale incognito, wheeling through aisles of protein tubs and ergonomic chairs. A faded poster caught my eye. Karen at a gala. Arm around some Politico. Smile plastic as her shakes. I bought it for $1. Hung it in the garage as a dartboard. Lena laughed. Therapy or target practice? Both. Babe. Community healed. But echoes lingered. A new Karen emerged. Not her. But archetypes. The busybody next door finding bird feeders. The board holdout grumbling about changes. I mediated, turning rants into rules. Accessibility audits quarterly. Where we all sync. It worked, folks listened. Seeing me not as the guy who toppled the Titan, but the one who rebuilt the pedestal higher. Summer scorched in. Pool parties popping without gatekeepers. Raj proposed a reunion climb, Utah this time. Safer routes. I trained, arms burning, mind sharp. Lena came, sketching vistas, her hand in mine under starlit skies. You know, she said one night by the fire, you didn't just revenge her. You revenge yourself. She's right. Karen's end was bitter. Probation violations landed her a halfway house stint. Last whispers of her hawking Amway, door to door. Doors slamming on her pitch. No empire. No Hoasron. Just echoes of entitlement in a one-bedroom echo chamber. Me? I rolled forward. A book deal for Rampage. My war with the Queen of Suburbia. TED Talks slaying it in Austin. Even a cameo on a Netflix docuseries. Betrayal? Yeah. Her kind's everywhere. But revenge? It's the story you tell when the chair's yours. And the road's wide open. Not every tale ends in handcuffs. Though, fall brought a curveball, a letter, forwarded from the old address. Scrawled in Karen's chicken scratch. Jake hates a heavy load. I was scared of change, of losing control. Forgive? Nah. But understand? Maybe. K. I burned it in the backyard pit. Ashes scattering like old grudges. Understanding's fine, forgetting's better. By Thanksgiving, Emerald Palms hosted its first Unity Feast. Turkey, tamales, zero drama. Gladys toasted me. To ramps, real and metaphorical. Laughter rippled. Chairs scraping. Mine among them. Lena squeezed my knee under the table. Our future a blank canvas begging pixels. Karen? A footnote. A cautionary meme. Her supplements? Recalled for lead contamination. Irony's chef kiss. She faded to Florida's fringes. A ghost in group chats. Spirit broken, but stories eternal. And me? Still rolling. Still raging when needed. Because in America's sprawl, where HOAs hoard power like dragons on gold, someone's got to be the knight. Or the wheelchair. Same diff. As 2026 dawned with its usual fanfare, Rose Bowl hype, crypto crashes, and Orlando's eternal humidity, I found myself at a crossroads that felt less like revenge's epilogue and more like life's unscripted sequel. The book dropped in February. Ampage climbing indie charts. Fans demanding tales of their own Karens. The apartment manager who charged for service dogs. The boss who forgot the elevator code. It hit home. My story wasn't singular. It was a symphony of slights. A chorus of the sidelines striking back. Lena and I tied the knot in April. A backyard bash with food trucks and a DJ spinning Outcast. Accessibility on point. Dance floor level with the grass. Raj officiated. Cracking wise. Jake, you climb mountains. Now climb this marriage without falling off. Vows exchanged. Rings glinting. Her in a sundress tattooed with circuits. Me in a suit tailored for the chair. No steps. No stumbles, just us. Vowing to navigate whatever blocks came. But Karen's evolve, don't they? Hers resurfaced in May. A LinkedIn manifesto. From CEO to survivor, my unjust fall. Polished now. Ghostrin vibes. She pitched a comeback, consulting for empowered communities. Comments? A dumpster fire. Stay down. Karen, ADA violator turned guru? Pass. I ignored it. But when she emailed, hijacking an old board alias, I clicked. Jake, let's collab. Your hero arc. My redemption. Podcast gold. 50-50 split. Lena snorted over coffee. Bitch. Please. I replied polite. Hard pass. Build your own ramp. Blocked. Deleted. Done. But it stirred ghosts. Nights I woke. Joystick phantom twitching. Dreaming of Teslas and tirades. Summer sizzled with purpose. Wired column evolved into a podcast. Wheelie wisdom. Guests from Paralympians to policy wonks dissecting entitlement's underbelly. Episode 1. Maria. Spilling Doje tea. Karen's like her? There's symptoms. The disease is apathy. Listen, Sword. Sponsors rolled in. Adaptive tech. Therapy apps. Raj guested on climbing mods. His voice booming. Dude fell. Got up. Metaphor for life. Joe. Emerald Palms? A model now, featured in Sunset Mag as America's most inclusive hood. Gladys retired to bingo halls. Passing the gavel to a queer couple with rescue pups. They kept my audits. Added mental health days and native plant gardens. Property values? Up 20%. Proving kindness cashes checks. Karen's comeback? Fizzled. Her consultancy? Crickets. Then complaints. Clients ghosting after her tough love seminars devolved into rants. By August, bankruptcy hit. Assets liquidated. That trailer repoed. Last ping. A Yelp review for a dive bar in Lakeland. 1 star. Bartender overserved this loudmouth. Avoid if you want peace. Bitter? For her. A vinegar vintage. She checked into rehab. Rumor mill said court mandated. For the wine and the whining. Out in October. She posted a selfie. Gaunt. Grayscale. Caption rock bottom's the best view. Likes family pity. Troll fire. Me? I thrived. Book tour wrapped in NYC. Lena pregnant. Twins. Skin said. Kicking like future climbers. We prepped the nursery. Wide doors. Soft lights. Ramps to the crib. Raj moved in as Uncle Uber, crashing on the couch with bad takes on baby names. Fall foliage faked its way through Florida palms. But we road tripped to Georgia for real leaves. Van loaded with podcasts and snacks. Stopped at a diner. PS steaming. When my phone buzzed. News alert. Karen. Arrested again. Bar fight. Assault on a disrespectful patron. Charges stuck. No bail this time. I stared at the mugshot. Her eyes hollowed husks. No glé. Just a sigh. End of the line. Lena murmured. Hand on my belly. Yeah. Holiday lights twinkled early. Our first as parents-to-be. Feast at home. Turkey from the smoker. Lena's mom's empanadas. Raj's burnt rolls for laughs. Toast to ramps, literal. Figurative. Fetal. As snowbirds migrated back. Waving from RVs. I wheeled the block. Twins fluttering. Life a loop of light. Karen? Institutional green now. Correspondence courses in conflict resolution. Irony. Thy name. Letters to editors decried her plight, but editors shredded him. Her legacy? A verb. Don't pull a Karen. Supplément rebranded sans leur face. Thriving on inclusive wellness. New Year's Eve. Fireworks popped over the lake. Lena asleep on my shoulder. I scrolled memories. That first ram. The cuffs. The quiet after. Revenge wasn't the headbutt or the headlines. It was this, the unblocked path. The family forging ahead. 2027 dawned brighter. Twins arrived in March. Screaming hellos, Riley and Jax. Fierce as their folks. Nights blurred, feedings, cuddles. Chair maneuvers like a ballet. Podcast hit 1 million downloads. Book sequel greenlit. Rampage 2, Raising Rebels. Karen paroled in June. Low profile. Waitress gig at a Waffle House. Tip Sparsh. Spotted once. Serving hash browns with a ghost of smile. No contact. No need. Life's not linear. It's a trail with switchbacks. Mine? Wide. Wheelchair ready. Lined with allies. Betrayal taught me. Blockades break. But builders endure. And if another Karen rolls up, I'll ram polite, then roll on. Because in this American grind, the real win's not her fall, it's my rise. Unstoppable.